Hey everybody, it's your Uncle Bear. So let's talk about the tariffs that President Trump is wanting to put on medium duty and heavy duty trucks, meaning, well, semis, and also, those little straight trucks that you got going down the road. This one sitting way over there. You see that little short job? That's called a straight truck. Unfamiliar. And that would be considered a medium duty. But I understand why. I understand the why, because he wants to, if he puts a 25% tariff on these trucks that come in, the companies will eventually build more plants here, create more jobs, right? Okay, well, he's doing that with a lot of different companies in a lot of different industries, and I think it's great. I think we need to create more jobs here and get tariffs from other countries. The problem with this is, all right, International has manufacturing plants, 3 of them in the United States, but they're assembled at a plant down in Mexico. Kenworth has manufacturing plants in the United States. Some of their trucks are assembled in Mexico. Same with Freightliner. Volvo is the only one, aside of their plants over in Sweden and over in that area of the world. They don't have any in Mexico. I think they have one in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. Western Star is manufactured here in the United States, out in Oregon. So a lot of these companies, have manufacturing facilities in Canada and in Mexico, where they, the majority of what's done there is assembly. But it's still finished product coming across our border, so that's the one that's going to be taxed at 25%. And of course, the manufacturers and the dealerships, they're not going to take a 25% loss. They're not going to discount they're not going to pay that. They're going to pass that on to any carrier in the country that goes to buy a new truck. Sorry, we had to pay the 25% tariff, so now you have to pay that 25% tariff. And like I say, I understand the why, but here's a potential problem with this, okay? And by the way, I like the idea, and I like the idea that, taking everybody off of welfare that is able-bodied, able to work, it's going to force them to go out and get a job. But here's the potential problem with all these tariffs, and all these companies building plants in the United States and creating these jobs. All right, I get the ones that are able-bodied that are going to have to go to work to survive, but what about the ones with well-to-do parents, or not even well-to-do, middle to upper middle class, that just allow their child up into their 40s sit on the couch and play video games, and they're just not going to work. Their parents aren't going to make them, so they're just going to sit around through life living with their parents playing video games. Now those, like I say, they don't have to work because their parents will put up with that shit. As long as they're alive, they'll put up with it. And by that time, they'll have their house paid for and possibly a big life insurance policy or a nest egg of some sort. And again, their offspring, that child, still won't have to work. They'll retire unemployed. They'll retire as a bum. They don't care. So yeah, are we going to have enough people, U.S. citizens, legal U.S. citizens, to fill these job orders? You know, I mean, it's going to, all these companies that are coming back to the United States and creating all these jobs. It's fantastic. It's fantastic for our economy if we have enough people to fill these job openings. And that's where my concern lies, because I'll tell you right now, we're in a 3-year recession in the trucking industry. I am sitting in Laredo. I don't know if you noticed it while taking a picture of that straight truck over there, but look at all, those are all free parking spots at the Pilot on Mines Road in Laredo, okay? Guys aren't coming down here because there's coming out of here. I'm sitting here waiting to find a load. And yeah, there's nothing, I've searched Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. Those are usually the states I search. Missouri and Kansas. And there's nothing going up that way, or at least that would even pay for fuel. You know, it's like $1.70 a mile freight, which my break-even point's over $2, so I won't touch it. I'll let it sit on the dock. But yeah, I mean, the carriers, they can't afford to pay. I mean, the price of a new truck now is upwards of, you know, I mean, even a 20, if you're looking at a 23 model in pretty good shape, under 400,000 miles, you're looking at a $120,000 truck, just a tractor. If you were to buy a brand new truck, you're looking right up around $185,000 to $220,000 on up. I mean, it depends on how you want it spec'd out, you know, how big of a bunk you want, all that stuff. So yeah, it's not an ideal environment, the trucking industry right now. So these tariffs, if we don't have enough people to fill all these job openings and cut those tariffs out, it could be catastrophic for our economy, and that's not good. And I am a Trump supporter, don't get me wrong. I am a Trump supporter. I support what he's trying to do. I just don't, I look at it, and realistically, I'm not 100% sure it'll work. There are concerns. So, anyway, something to think about. Be safe out there, everybody.